So, Imran, after ignoring my challenge about this issue, he posted again a video saying, Islam, Atheism, and the Meaning of Life. 2 weeks ago, I posted an open challenge to Imran Hussein. Do we need God for meaning and purpose? And I challenged him to refute real arguments against your argument. Of course, they don't care because I don't have many subscribers. So these guys are looking for exposure. Okay, they are not looking for truth. Okay, they are apologists. They are Dawa man. They are not philosophers. Okay, we are doing it to promote Islam. We are not doing it for truth. Imran Hussein. Okay, let's see again this argument.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Sapient Thoughts. On today's episode, I want to discuss the meaning of life. And I want to look at the meaning of life from the perspective of Islam and atheism. And we're going to really look at which of these two outlooks, worldviews, really make sense of meaning. Because the reality is, guys, that when it comes to meaning, that's one of the most fundamental things any human being is concerned with. Who are we? Why are we here? What's our purpose? And if we can figure this out, then everything else falls into place.
So the questions, who are we? Why are we here? What's our purpose? Are cosmological questions. Imran Hussein, your feelings play zero role on these questions. Even if we are here because an alien shit his pants and we are the seat of an alien, okay, that's the fact. Okay, that's the fact. These three questions you are making, Imran Hussein, are cosmological questions. You are addressing reality. So your feelings play zero role on these questions. So now I am addressing cosmological reality. And the answer to these questions is, who are we? We are evolved primates by blind forces of nature. Why are we here? The why question is just a silly question because the universe doesn't operate with consciousness at the center. Okay. What's our purpose? We make our individual purpose. Okay. So I gave three answers to your questions that are addressing reality. So all your arguments, it doesn't seem right. It's a nihilism. It's sad. My cat will cry now. Okay, all these arguments are irrelevant because I am addressing a cosmological reality.
So let's start off by looking at the meaning of life from the perspective of Islam. Now it's very simple. It's not going to take too long. We believe as Muslims that Allah created us and He created us with purpose.
First of all, it's not that simple. Okay, you are just an idiot, Imran. I can write 5 books with the hooks you need to overcome for this worldview to make sense. Okay, 5 books, my friend. 5 books. You say, it's not so simple. Let's start with worshipping being the ultimate virtue. Worship is an immoral word. Let's start with that. Let's continue with free will. There is no free will in Islam. So how can God judge for something He is responsible for? That's just the tip of the iceberg, my friend. I can write 5 books why this worldview fails. You say, hey, it's simple. What's simple, my friend? You are just an idiot. It's not that simple.
He created everything with a purpose. So there is teleology behind everything, whether it's this world or us human beings. And what does Allah say when it comes to our purpose as human beings? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ, that He did not create us for any other reason.
You forgot to say created mankind and jinn. In this verse you are quoting, it says also the jinn. You forgot to mention that. Okay, please continue. So what you claim reality, cosmological reality, includes jinns, Prince of Arabia fairy tales. Not a good start, Imran.
Except for one reason, which is that we are to know him and to worship him. This is the crux of our lives. This is why we exist. And that's pretty much it. That's how simple it is from the Islamic perspective. But now if we look at it from the perspective of atheism, so atheists claim that there is no God, there is no creator. Now what does this mean? This means that everything that exists, this entire world, this entire universe, us human beings, everything is just one big accident. It's like spilt milk. And the universe came into existence by chance, and whatever has now then proceeded to happen within the universe is also by chance. It's also accidental. It's like when milk spills on the table, some of the droplets eventually make their way and fall off the table, and some are licked up by the cat, right? So that's the reality on atheism in regards to this world. It has no meaning. It's all pointless. And therefore our very existence, we exist with.
Imran here makes a logical fallacy, a non sequitur. Notice again what he says.
So, atheists claim that there is no God, there is no creator. Now what does this mean? This means that everything that exists, this entire world, this entire universe, us human beings, everything is just one big accident. It's like spilt milk.
Everything that exists is a big accident. This is what he says.
So when it comes to the question of what is the ultimate meaning of life,
The ultimate meaning of life, he says.
there isn't any. We don't have a purpose. We have no meaning.
Because there is no ultimate meaning and purpose for the universe, that means we have no meaning and purpose. That's a non sequitur. Guys, I have corrected him on this part about 3 or 4 times already. So now I must conclude that he's either dumb or he's dishonest. I believe he's dishonest. Okay, at this point, I believe he's dishonest. Let's say God made a universe populated by robots. In this universe, God gave these robots a purpose. He programmed them to do his will. Therefore, these robots are doing God's purpose, his ultimate purpose. Does that mean that these robots have meaning and purpose? No. Why not? Because those robots haven't got consciousness. So, the ultimate purpose, God's purpose, that he intends for the robots, doesn't give meaning and purpose to the robots. And what we need to have meaning and purpose? Consciousness. What meaning requires? Computing stuff, but also having a sentiment. The robots might compute stuff, but they don't have sentiments. They don't have consciousness. Therefore, meaning cannot apply to robots, irrespective if there is an ultimate purpose and meaning for the universe.
So when it comes to the question of what is the ultimate meaning of life, there isn't any. We don't have a purpose. We have no meaning.
Did you see how he changed the scope? First he was talking about ultimate meaning, and then he went to individual meaning. Okay, let's assume he did that by mistake. Although, guys, as I told you, I have gave him in messages the answer like 4 times. I have made 5 videos that he saw. Okay, look at this. This is what I just seen in his Twitter. When he posted this video, a Muslim called Muslim Theist says, Brother, I saw a guy named Socrates' son try to challenge you on purpose of life. Lol. Okay, so how is it possible? Even everybody knows that I'm challenging you. I posted a challenge on your Twitter and you haven't seen it. And that's not now. I make videos for a year now. But you are still repeating the same mistake. So it's my fault now that I will humiliate you. Humiliate you. Sorry. We Greeks speak English like singing. So it's my fault that I will humiliate you. Come on, Ella. You had your chances, in other words.
And this is where we have to sort of define something here. Now, the philosophers normally like to break this discussion of meaning into two parts. They discuss the meaning of life and the meaning in life.
Bingo! So, you did answer. Sorry about that. I need to apologize. I didn't see the video before I made my response.
And most philosophers like to delve into the discussion of the meaning in life because obviously that's easier to deal with, especially from a materialistic, naturalistic perspective. When it comes to the meaning of life, well, that's done and dusted. There isn't any. And this is why we find individuals like Richard Dawkins, when he addresses his community and he addresses people, he normally says, well, look, most likely there is no ultimate meaning behind life. However, we can make meaning up for ourselves. We can give ourselves meaning. And this is what most atheists do. But what's really interesting is that if we go a little bit further back in time, if we go to the 19th and 20th century, the existentialist philosophers, who I believe did somewhat of a better job than the atheists are doing today, they also took up this question. What is the meaning of life? And they quickly concluded that there is no ultimate meaning. However, we have to now try to somehow provide meaning to human existence. Why? Well, because it's fundamental to us. It's a part of our very nature. We seek out meaning as human beings. We can't help it. When we look at the world around us, we ascribe meaning to things. When we design and create things and make products, we make them with a particular purpose. We assign meaning to those things. But when it comes to our very existence, there isn't any meaning. It doesn't really add up.
Why it doesn't add up? Meaning is personal, my friend. Whatever God intends for the universe, whatever is God's ultimate purpose for the universe, is irrelevant completely. Let's give an example so you can get what I'm saying. Let's say God was feeling itchy in his balls and decided, let's make a universe so I can scratch my balls with the universe. Okay, that is the purpose of God for this universe. That's a plausible idea. That is possible. Let's say God made the universe so he can scratch his balls with the universe. Does that mean that our purpose is to scratch God's balls? It's irrelevant, my friend, what is the ultimate purpose. And your assumption, the test assumption, is as pathetic as scratching balls. Okay, your assumption that this universe is made for a test is as pathetic and shallow as this universe was made to scratch God's balls. So the example I'm making right now is not even outrageous. Your claim is almost scratching balls. Why is that? Let me explain why. In the assumption that this world is a test, that means that the ultimate virtue is submission. It's not morality, it's not good at the center of this universe, it's just submission. Slavery is the ultimate virtue. That is what you are saying right now. And that's exactly the attitude of Isis. They don't see morality, they see just submission. That is where your ideology leads, that the ultimate good is submission. Moreover, it's even worse. The Islamic paradise is totally hedonistic. So you masturbate for, 300 years, you have an orgasm for 300 years. You are having sex, rivers of wine. 6,000 little boys serving you. Okay, so the Islamic paradise is totally hedonistic. So what you are saying now is that the whole existence is here to masturbate. This kind of purpose is worse than God using the universe to scratch his balls. Your assumption is even shallower than God using the universe to scratch his balls. Okay, and it's utterly immoral. At least scratching the balls of God is not immoral. Your assumption implies eternal damnation to hell. So it's the extreme end of immorality, my friend.
So they tried, the likes of Nietzsche, the likes of Albert Camus, Jean-Paul Sartre, all of them tried to provide some sort of alternative here. But what they ended up with was the absurd.
My friend, there is no alternative. Purpose and meaning is personal. Okay, what God intends for the universe is irrelevant. You are talking about function. Okay, I make a knife to cut the bread. Okay, I give purpose to the knife. But if the knife is conscious, I cannot give purpose to the knife. Because if the knife don't agree with me, it's not his purpose, so there is no alternative. The philosophers you quoted, they didn't know what they were talking about. Nietzsche and Klitsche and Bakitsche. Okay, you will hear me. Seriously, but seriously, they were wrong.
Albert Camus put it. The idea, when he referred to the absurd, he referred to the idea that on one end, we recognize that there is no ultimate meaning to life, but at this very same time, we can't help but seek out meaning. And we're stuck in this type of quagmire and this confusion as human beings.
Guys, look how he phrased the atheist position.
On one end, we recognize that there is no ultimate meaning to life, but at this very same time, we can't help but seek out meaning.
That is your psychology superimposed in the atheist position. We simply say, because there is consciousness in the universe, there is meaning in the universe. All the rest, the spices you add, is you. Okay? You add your mindset to the atheist worldview. Therefore, we cannot help but only cry and bring our cat and cry, and we are sad and we give ourselves meaning. You add negative connotations to this thing, my friend. You have a grim perspective of the world because you are a death cultist. You follow a death cult that sees the world dark. Okay, Islam sees the world dark. But that's your worldview imposed to the world. The world is not dark. Okay, you are a nihilist because you are a follower of a death cult called Islam. And you see the world without meaning. That's why you have suicide, terrorist attacks. Okay, that's why we had ISIS, the death cultists. Because you see the world meaningless without Islam. But this is not our worldview. We say, because there is consciousness in the universe, that means we have meaning. It's not, we cannot help than having meaning, although we are sad and we cry because Muhammad is not the messenger, and let's cry because we will not rule the world. We will not rule the world with our theocratic dictatorship, and it's so sad, so the world has no meaning. Okay, that is from your mind. You add all the spices. We just say that because in the universe we have consciousness, there is meaning in the universe. That is what we say. That is not sad.
He even went as far as saying in one of his books that, the meaning of life is whatever keeps you alive, as long as it keeps you going. So coming back to the point that if you look at life and you look at the world in the absence of God, in particular from the perspective of Islamic theism, if you put all of that aside, then life has no meaning. We're just here, and we're just here by accident, and we're here for no reason. Now, I don't know about you, but most atheists think it's sufficient to say, fine, no ultimate meaning of life, who cares? Let's just make up meaning and get along. Let's just make up meaning and keep going.
You say, let's make up meaning and get along. Okay. Meaning is computing a thing, a logical sequence, or a physical structure, and having a sentiment. Do we invent the sentiment? Are we inventing our feelings? Let's invent our feelings and go along. Our feelings is part of our nature. We don't invent them. We invent your God. Islam we invent. We don't invent our feelings. All animals, including humans, are hardwired by nature for survival. It starts with our basic instincts, self-preservation and multiplication. We are hardwired to thrive for life. We cannot do any other way. If you go to, okay, let's say tomorrow you wake up and you stay in bed. For how long you can manage to stay in bed? At some point, after many hours, it will be torture. Okay, you will be tortured if you stay in bed. That's why prison is torture, because our mind is hardwired to do stuff.
Let's just make up meaning and keep going. Well, that may work for some for a while, right? You can tell yourself you want to be a doctor, an engineer, you want to do charity work, you want to change the world for a bit to make it a better place, etc., etc.
Okay, let's test the stupidity you just said. Charity has no value. Changing the world has no value. Look what you dared say, you buffoon. Changing the world for the better has no value. So, love has no value, according to you. Philosophy has no value. Science has no value at all. Art has no inherent value. Nothing has inherent value except submission. Okay, the only value of this world is facial hair, eh? Love has no inherent value. This is what this guy says. Nothing is valuable, okay? The only value in this universe is submission. Changing the world has no value. This is what this guy says. Imran, how about go join ISIS and stop wasting our time, my friend? You are a death cult. Your ideology is ISIS. What are you talking about, my friend?
Yeah? The one that sells drugs, good or bad? Just very quickly, good or bad? Bad. How about the murderer? How about the one who commits adultery, zina? What about the one who rapes a child? What about the one who drinks alcohol? What about the one who does the biggest of the kabair, good or bad? This person, one person that commits all of these sins, he commits all of these sins on a daily basis, but he prays is better in the eyes of Allah than the one that doesn't commit any of these sins but doesn't pray.
Let's see what Pope the Builder said. The stomach-churning difference between Islamic spirituality, which prizes ritualism, and Christian spirituality, which prizes character. Compare this sermon to Christ's teachings found in the Sermon on the Mount.
This is the crux of our lives. This is why we exist. And that's pretty much it. That's how simple it is from the Islamic perspective. But now if we look at it from the perspective of atheism, that's all good and well. But as soon as someone sits down and takes a moment and really thinks about this, and they really sort of play with these ideas that, okay, my life has no ultimate meaning. It's pointless, and I know these words sound quite crude, but this is the reality. It's pointless, but at the same time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make things up for myself. You know, just like children like to dress up, they like to dress up as Superman, Batman, etc.
Let's imagine a hypothetical universe where God had enough with humans and decides to make all humans a lobotomy. Okay, they are they go like robots. The visitors, like the one movie where it was with a housewives, and they looked the same, but they were not really the same. Aliens took their bodies. Okay, so imagine humans lobotomized. How can you argue against this universe, Imran? Humans still do God's will, the ultimate purpose. They are still doing the ultimate purpose. In fact, even better. Humans are now doing God's will even better now. They are completely obedient. Okay, so in your worldview, a universe can be populated by lobotomized humans and still have meaning, because there is an ultimate meaning. As you said earlier, you said, charity, what is charity? Nothing. Making the world a better place? Nothing. That's nothing. Isn't that what you said? Everything in the life experience, love, philosophy, art, all these things are useless. We just have an ultimate purpose. We are tools, in other words. The purpose of humans is to be tools to a cult named surrender. Yeah, right, Imran. You give purpose, you are the opposite of purpose, my friend. You give meaning, you are a lobotomy. That's how much meaning you give to this world.
That's what you're essentially doing. I'm going to make up purpose for myself. Now, the question I have for you is, well, what does that even mean? Why even, if everything is meaningless, what's the meaning behind making things up for yourself? And you can see the absurdity just continues to develop and grow.
Okay, Imran, you are a bad philosopher. If you want to educate yourself, post me a message and I can help you. Okay, but we will not continue to hear this nonsense because you are saying nonsense, my friend. Now, let me sing a karaoke song. Yes, to give purpose to my life.
When you were here before,
Can
look you in the eye. You're
just like an angel.
Your skin makes me cry. You
Float like a feather
in a
beautiful world.
I wish I was special. You're so very special. But
I'm a creep.
What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here.
I don't. If it hurts, I won't have control. One perfect body.
Want a perfect soul, and I want you to know it is when I'm not around. You're so very special. Yeah, I
Wish I was special,
but
I'm
a
What the hell?
am I doing here?
'Cause I don't belong here. easy run, run.
Whatever makes you happy, whatever you want, you're so very special. Yeah, I wish I was special.